Why do so many of us guys over 60 keep shrinking, aching, and feeling, well, progressively weaker, even when we hit the gym hard? Seriously, think about it for a second. You put in the work, you lift the iron just like you used to, but man, your joints are absolutely screaming. Your lower back is totally wrecked, and that raw, everyday power is just kind of fading away.
It's a terrifying feeling, right? Feeling like your own body is betraying you. Feeling those deep, stabilizing muscle fibers just quietly unplugging one by one. But hey, there is hope. And that's exactly what we're getting into in this explainer. I'm going to reveal a 1,500-year-old warrior monk biological hack that rebuilds insane functional strength with absolutely zero weights. Now, we're going to cover the exact 6 holds that solve this problem, but I'm keeping the actual movements a secret for just a minute, until we understand exactly what's happening under the hood of your body.
I know exactly how this feels, guys. Look, let me share a bit of my own story. I spent years, decades really, grinding out endless dynamic reps. I was chasing the pump, fully buying into the whole lie that muscle size equaled real power. But honestly, I just woke up feeling more broken down every single day. I was nursing a busted shoulder, achy knees, just feeling fragile. And I finally realized that the fitness industry's obsession with reps, it's a biological illusion that actually damages older bodies. Because real strength isn't about how many times you can move a weight. It's about how long your body can sustain tension.
Okay, let's dive into exactly why this happens. The real culprit behind your weakness? It's not your age, it's not your genetics, and it's definitely not your testosterone levels. It's actually a clinical condition called neuromuscular suppression. See, your nervous system is literally disconnecting from your deep stabilizing fibers. When you do dynamic reps, just going through a standard range of motion at the gym, you barely even touch these deep fibers. So this weakness you're feeling, it's really just a neurological disconnect that makes everyday life feel so much heavier.
There's a massive difference in how we should be training at this stage of the game. Traditional gym culture causes serious mechanical abrasion. You're literally grinding your joints and tendons together just to get some superficial muscle fluid. But the ancient Shaolin method uses isometrics or static tension. You're basically compressing the muscle to build unbreakable steel wire tendons and this deep core armor, all without moving a single inch.
And here is the absolute craziest part, something called the 100-hour threshold. You see, your brain has a built-in safety switch. It's only going to allow your muscles to fire with about 30% of their true power, because it thinks your soft tendons will just snap under 100% load. But by holding maximum voluntary contractions, you actually hotwired the system. You cross that threshold, and your body stops just trying to repair muscle. It literally re-engineers your biological tissue into a suit of internal armor.
Now, let's look at how this holds up in the modern world. We're pivoting from ancient monk archives to cold, hard clinical science. Take a look at this setup from a study published in the Dove Medical Press. They specifically tested double-leg isometric training on guys aged 45 to 60. They hooked them up to this biodex machine to measure exact power outputs, proving this isn't just some martial arts woo-woo, right? This is validated, data-driven science.
So the absolutely crucial point here is the staggering results they've found. Just 8 weeks of this isometric leg training, holding steady at 85% of their peak heart rate, dropped their resting systolic blood pressure by an average of 11 points. That's 11 millimeters of mercury. That completely proves the massive internal healing power of this method. You aren't just getting stronger, your entire cardiovascular system is actively healing.
Let's quickly break down the science of this static tension. Because your joints aren't moving, you can generate maximum force totally safely. You have constant time under tension, zero momentum to cheat with, and because there's no grinding movement, you actively heal joint abrasion. Bottom line, you get way more gains in way less time. It's a total game changer.
All right, the wait is over, guys. Let's dive right into the solution with our very first movement, the hollow body, or what I like to call the 360-degree internal core set.
Listen, doing endless crunches and sit-ups, that just grinds your lumbar vertebrae into dust. But this Shaolin move wakes up your transverse abdominis, your deepest core muscle. Here's exactly how you do it. Lie flat on your back and press your lower back firmly into the floor, like you're trying to leave a permanent imprint in the carpet. Squeeze your glutes hard. Then, hover your legs just a few inches off the ground and reach your arms back past your ears. Now, you gotta hear me on this one. The exact split second your lower back lifts off that floor, the exercise stops working and you are compromising your spine. If that happens, pull back, reset, and only hold the position where you can keep that spine glued to the floor.
Moving right along, let's get into the second hold, the horse stance. This one is basically a neurological siege on your lower body.
So we're shifting our focus down to the legs now. You're going to step out twice your shoulder width apart, sink your hips straight down like you're sitting on an invisible bench, and aggressively drive your knees outward. Now this isn't just a leg burner. It actually triggers bone hardening, it fires up those deep hip rotators, fixing chronically tight hips, and forces your lower back to fuse into a solid plate of armor. But more importantly, it retrains your brain to trust your base of support again, which is absolutely huge for preventing dangerous falls as we get older.
Okay, up next is the third movement, the wall sit. Think of this as your body's natural shock absorber.
If your knees ache going downstairs or getting out of a low chair, man, this is your absolute game changer. Get your back completely flat against a smooth wall. Walk your feet forward about 2 feet and slide down until your legs form a 90-degree angle. Make sure you keep your knees directly above your ankles. Don't let them shoot out past your toes. You're going to feel an intense, shaking burn in your quads, and that is exactly what you want. You are rebuilding the frame around your knee to completely eliminate the impact that destroys your cartilage. Just remember, you should never ever feel sharp pain in the actual kneecap.
All right, let's talk about the upper body with our fourth movement, the bottom push-up. This builds what I call pneumatic armor. We've got to protect the upper body, because grinding out regular push-up reps after 60, that's a fast track to a torn rotator cuff and a date with a surgeon. Instead, you're going to lower yourself until your chest hovers just 1 to 2 inches above the floor. Lock your elbows in super tight against your ribs, no flaring them out like chicken wings, and freeze. By freezing at the exact bottom of this movement, you recruit hundreds of muscle fibers simultaneously in your chest and triceps. It is pure, unrelenting tension that builds incredible armor with absolutely zero shoulder impingement.
Now we bring it all together with the fifth hold, the bear crawl hold. I love to call this the great unifier.
This full system hold forces your newly armored core, your rebuilt hips, and those protected shoulders to suddenly work together as one indestructible unit. Here's the setup. Get down on your hands and knees. Brace your core deeply, just like we did in the hollow body. Now, tuck your toes and lift your knees exactly 1 single inch off the ground. Not a foot, literally just 1 inch. Keep a perfectly flat back. Lifting your knees just that tiny bit develops what martial artists call root strength. It gives you the ability to absorb force from any direction without losing your balance. You will be shaking like crazy, but hey, that's just the weakness leading the body.
Finally, we arrive at the real secret weapon, the sixth hold, the iron bridge. This is all about total posterior reconstruction.
Most guys completely ignore this one, but it is absolutely vital to reverse decades of that forward bent posture we all get. You're going to drive through your feet and hands to push your hips up toward the ceiling into a full arch. You want to compress the spine, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the shoulders, all at the exact same time. This move literally restores your natural spinal curvature. It builds a posterior chain that will not crumble under the weight of real life. It demands structural integrity that no fancy gym machine could ever replicate.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is taking action. Here is your minimalist, home-based routine, your 60-day reboot blueprint. You're going to pick just 3 of these holds to start today. Perform 2 rounds per hold. Aim for 15 to 30 seconds of pure, unrelenting tension. Then, add a few seconds each week as your nervous system adapts. Oh, and master your breathing. Whatever you do, never hold your breath. Remember, functional strength isn't something you just miraculously add to your body. It's something you reclaim through actual discipline.
I want to end this explainer with a simple question for you. Your strongest years are still waiting for you to claim them. Do you have the discipline to hold the line? Bringing it full circle back to my own story, the day I abandoned that temporary gym pump to forge real, lasting survival strength, that was the day I actually got my life back. The ancient archives are closed. The blueprint is right here in your hands, and your body is ready to be rebuilt from the inside out. Now, it's completely up to you.